Right now, on to the point. Triple-digit heat and hazy skies causing a weather impact alert.
Air quality was not as bad today for most of the valley, although it was still not perfect. We've got another Spare the Air day tomorrow.
Plus new details in the Esparto fireworks explosion as we officially learn the names of the 7 people killed.
Cuando ellos murieron, también me morí yo.
As immigration raids continue tonight, the California city now warning people to stay inside. And later on the back roads,
it's such a hidden gem. It's basically like Yosemite, but with less people.
Where you can get this one-of-a-kind experience just hours away from Sacramento.
Good evening. Thank you so much for closing out your week with us here on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell, and we do start tonight tracking a weather impact alert, and it comes as the first night of the California State Fair is underway at Cal Expo. Cooling stations are, of course, set up around the fair, and as temperatures reach above 100 degrees, people are taking advantage of the water rides and, of course, those indoor exhibits. And taking a live look over downtown Sacramento, fires to our north continue to produce smoky skies in the valley. A Spare the Air day was declared for today. Let's get things over to ABC 10 meteorologist Brendan Minchak, who is tracking the latest conditions for us.
Yeah, air quality at the surface is not as bad as it was yesterday, but certainly it is still hazy out there. We've got a lot of moderate to sensitive air quality levels across the region from Sacramento to the north. Now, of course, the air quality does go worse the further north you go as you get closer to the fires. But the good news is there is an end in sight to this poor air quality. It'll arrive in just a couple of days. But again, it is better than where it was yesterday. That's the good news. Still plenty of haze out there. It's just that smoke is not making it all the way down to the surface. It's being mixed a little bit higher up. So that does drop air quality a bit, but not like what we saw yesterday. Today, we see values of about 50 to 70 on the air quality index. Yesterday, we were seeing values close to 150. So again, a little bit better. 102 is what we made it to in Sacramento today. 105 Stockton, 102 in Modesto. It was hot. This was our 4th triple-digit day of the year. Currently 98 in Sacramento, 102 in Stockton, 101 down in Modesto, mid-80s in the foothills. This evening is going to be warm, and we are going to start Saturday morning warm as well, with low temperatures in the 60s. I've got a forecast later in the show that'll time out when the heat finally breaks and when the air quality improves. Again, that's in just a few minutes, Alex.
All right, Brendan, thank you. Fires are burning across the west. This is new video tonight near the Grand Canyon. Visitors at the north rim of the canyon had to evacuate. About 500 people had to cancel their plans. Lightning sparked the fire, and it's not clear when this part of the national park could reopen, but of course we'll be keeping our eye on it. New details tonight in the Esparto fireworks explosion investigation. Take a look. The Yolo County Sheriff's Office identified the 7 victims today. They range in age from 18 to 45 years old. We know that some are fathers, others just getting their life started. The 7 lived in the Bay Area, Sacramento, Stockton, and San Andreas. Now, all 7 died when that warehouse exploded July 1st, setting off what CAL FIRE called the Oakdale fire. 10 days later, people are still under evacuation. And as ABC 10's Becca Habegger reports, some family members are still waiting at the scene looking for answers.
This lot next to the Dollar General is about as close as family members have been able to get to the blast site. The road down to the scene has been closed since July 1st, though today it reopened to local traffic. And here is where family members have been posting up for the last 10 days, looking for answers and setting up a memorial.
Family members spent time Friday setting up a memorial to the 7 people who died on July 1st. The explosion happened at a fireworks warehouse a mile south of here.
Cuando ellos murieron, también me morí yo. Cuando ellos los mataron, también me mataron a mí.
Johnny Ramos lost 2 sons. 18-year-old Jesus Ramos, his first day on the job, he and his girlfriend expecting a child, and 22-year-old Johnny Ramos Jr.
Mientras no me dijeran exactamente que era ellos, pues yo guardaba también la esperanza, siempre la guardé.
He and the Yolo County Coroner's Office tell ABC 10 identifying and differentiating the brothers' remains has been difficult given the amount of DNA they share. The Coroner's Office said they've had to use dental records.
Ya hicieron el ADN y pues salieron que sí eran ellos dos. Entonces pues me dolió saberlo pues porque ya la esperanza ya no está.
New ABC 10 drone video of the scene Friday shows the property decimated and blackened by fire, with debris that fell into neighboring fields. As ABC 10 has reported, we know the property is owned by a Yolo County Sheriff's Lieutenant, Sam Machado, who lived on scene and lost his home in the explosion and subsequent fire. Now that family members have official word from the coroner that their loved ones have been identified, they want answers on how this happened and who is responsible. And to the community who has offered them food and support, they say thank you.
Y que de todo corazón se los agradezco en nombre de mis dos hijos fallecidos, Jesús Ramos y Johnny Ramos. Muchísimas gracias.
A memorial is planned right here at 8 o'clock this evening. Now, to give you a sense of how much the explosion literally rocked the small rural community of Esparto, we were grabbing lunch today at a restaurant about 1.5 miles from the blast site, and the person working there told us that on July 1st, it shook several ceiling tiles loose, again 1.5 miles from the blast site, and that people in town could hear individual fireworks going off over the course of several hours that day. He said people from all over the country, friends of his, have called him and said they heard about the explosion in his small town. In Esparto, Becca Habiger, ABC 10.
And for more coverage of the Esparto fireworks warehouse explosion, you can download the ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can find past news conferences and also stories about the victims, all free on that app. Well, new details tonight after a probation officer was lit on fire. We first brought this to you as breaking news just last night onto the point. We now have video of the incident, but I do want to warn you, it is disturbing. So this happened in Stockton Thursday afternoon. The probation officer is still in the hospital, but is expected to recover from his burns. They were on his arms. Stockton police say the suspect in the incident, a 39-year-old man, was on probation at the time. He walked into the probation office with a gas can and a lighter before being removed and lighting the probation officer and 2 cars on fire. The suspect will be in court on Monday. And tonight in Texas, the death toll in that devastating flood zone is now at 121. With President Trump visiting the area today and searches continuing, questions are growing.
Tonight, President Trump visited Texas 1 week after floodwaters surged through this community.
Our nation, we mourn for every single life that was swept away in the flood, and we pray for the families that are left behind. The search for the missing continues. The people that are doing it are unbelievable people, that you couldn't get better people than this anywhere.
Trump and the First Lady met with families and local leaders in Kerr County, where at least 160 people are still missing. And as rescue crews work around the clock, there are growing questions about whether more could have been done to prevent this tragedy, including why one of the hardest hit towns didn't have sirens installed, and why emergency alerts went out 90 minutes after they were first requested. And tonight, a new concern. FEMA's flood maps designed to identify extremely hazardous zones failed to account for extreme rainfall. They dramatically underestimated the scope of the flood, especially at Camp Mystic, where satellite data reveals the scale of this disaster. The president's visit coming as he faces growing scrutiny for proposing a total overhaul or even the elimination of FEMA. Also under fire, budget cuts to NOAA, the very agency that oversees the National Weather Service and the forecasts that help save lives. And today, one of the first of many memorials. Families remembering 8-year-old Hadley Hannah, one of the campers at Camp Mystic.
I'm going to miss the hugs, the daddy-daughter dates, the laughs, the passionate conviction.
Pray for our friends, old and new, who are experiencing this profound loss alongside us. We ask you to hold them in their hearts as some continue to search for their little girls and others say goodbye in the coming days.
Across Central Texas, you can donate to our Tegna Relief Fund by scanning that QR code that's on your screen right now. Your money goes directly to flood victims who need it most, and you can also find information on how to donate on our website at abc10.com or on our app. Coming up on To the Point, tears clapping and a lot of uncertainty. What's next for the State Department after the Trump administration told 1,300 people to leave their posts today?
Weather impact alert tomorrow as well as today and for the weekend as well. Poor air quality from smoke and also ozone and heat. Lots of things going on forecast after the break.
And the warning tonight from one California mayor to undocumented immigrants in a community scared of ICE raids.
All we want is just to be free and happy and live like normal human beings.
Welcome back in. Some breaking news. Firefighters are at the scene of a vegetation fire in Rancho Murrieta. The fire is now about 20 acres. Resources are arriving at the scene. And the good news, that fire appears to no longer be spreading. But I want to get over to meteorologist Brendan Minchef because I know some areas are seeing a weather impact alert because of this heat, right?
Yeah, it's hot and it's dry and we have some bad air as well. We tied for the hottest day of the year so far today in Sacramento, made it to 102 degrees, 105 in Stockton, 102 in Modesto. It felt hot almost from the start today because we only dropped to 67 degrees this morning for a low temperature. That is very warm. That is about 8 degrees warmer than our normal morning temperatures for the time of year. Right now it is 98 in Sacramento, 102 in Stockton, 101 in Modesto, 95 in Auburn, 86 in Truckee, 82 in South Lake Tahoe. Temperatures for everywhere except about Sacramento are warmer than this time yesterday. We're seeing a bit of a breeze, about 10 miles per hour across much of the valley, closer to 15, 20 through the Delta. That should improve our air quality a little bit. It was not as bad today as it was yesterday, but until we get a much stronger onshore flow, that doesn't arrive until Sunday, we're still going to be looking at some poor air quality. This evening, temperatures in the mid 80s by 9 o'clock, mid 70s at 11 o'clock, still in the 70-degree temperature range until about 1 o'clock this morning. Then we finally drop into the 60s. We'll start off in those mid 60s across much of the valley. Another hazy and mild night is expected. Tomorrow's not as hot across the valley, but still upper 90s and low triple digits for Saturday afternoon. I've got about 97 in Sacramento, closer to 100 down in Stockton and Modesto. And as we look at the smoke forecast, it's going to stay hazy through the overnight, through tomorrow as well. So we're going to continue with that weather impact alert because it's another spare the air day due to ozone and because we're going to have that haze as well. But look what happens by the time we get towards Saturday night into Sunday morning. That's when we're going to start to see a stronger onshore wind develop, and that is going to improve our air quality from Sacramento to the south. So 2 weather impact alerts tomorrow valley-wide for poor air quality through Monday, though, for the upper valley due to heat advisory. Morning temperatures between 70 and 80. Afternoon temperatures in the upper valley could be as hot as 110. Alex.
All right, Brendan, thank you. Next, on to the point, a mayor's warning about future ICE raids and how ICE is responding tonight. And then we take a trip on the back roads for an unforgettable forest experience right here in California. Well, there were tears, clapping, and a lot of uncertainty today outside the State Department in Washington, D.C. after 1,300 people were told they were being laid off. The layoffs impact civil servants and the Foreign Service. The Secretary of State says this will make the department leaner and more efficient, while critics say this will weaken U.S. influence in countering emerging threats. Tonight, United Farm Workers says one person died and others are injured following yesterday's immigration raid in Ventura County. We brought you these videos just last night as protests grew outside of a cannabis farm. The Department of Homeland Security has not responded to the United Farm Workers statement. And a Southern California mayor is now warning people in his city to stay inside as ICE raids continue. Advocates say people are afraid to go to work and they're now looking for help. Nicole Comstock reports from the city of Paris.
The city of Paris has received reports of ongoing ICE operations within the area.
Paris Mayor Michael Vargas sends a video message to the 83,000 residents in his city, telling them to stay inside for their own safety.
We urge all residents to remain calm, stay indoors when possible, and know your rights. Do not go out unless necessary. Stay at home and do not open the door to strangers.
We appreciate that, and we always do. A little bit is a lot for us, but we don't expect a lot.
But Eduardo Preciado says he doesn't think anyone should hide because America is a free country.
All we want is just to be free and happy and live like normal human beings.
The Riverside County community is 78% Latino. Many Latino-owned businesses here are struggling because customers are afraid to come through the doors.
One of our youth leaders this morning, she came to our youth program and she shared that yesterday she was the soccer practice here in Paris, and her coach got picked up right in front of them. Imagine the trauma of having agents coming into a soccer field full of kids and families.
Luz Gallegos is the executive director of Todek Legal Center, a nonprofit that works with the local immigrant community. They're operating a grocery delivery service for families who can't afford food right now because they're afraid to leave the house for work.
It breaks our hearts of our kids, and what they're seeing in this point in history. But at the same time, history repeats itself. So we've been through it before.
In response to the Paris mayor's social media post, a senior Department of Homeland Security official said in writing in part, those who are not here illegally and are not breaking any other laws have nothing to fear. Elected officials choosing to fearmonger by distorting reality are doing a great disservice to our country and are responsible for the nearly 700% increase in assaults on ICE officers.
And again, that was Nicole Comstock reporting. A number of studies have been done on mass deportation impacts on California's economy. One suggests that they could impact California's GDP by up to $275 billion. We're back after this. Every Friday, our John Bartel takes us on the back roads. Tonight, we get a trail ride within Kings Canyon National Park.
Plunging more than 8,000 feet, it was sculpted by glaciers during the last ice age and is now deeper than the Grand Canyon. The views in Kings Canyon National Park are stark and stunning, but due to its remoteness, this is one of the least visited California parks. But if you do find your way to the bottom of the canyon, the best way to explore the dramatic landscape is by hitching a ride with the Cedar Grove Pack Station.
It's such a hidden gem. It's basically like Yosemite, but with less people.
Although there are endless trails in the park, if you're a first-time horseback rider, trail guide Dorothy Strange will probably take you on a trot alongside the South Fork of the Kings River, which used to be prime grazing land for livestock.
Back in the day, there was, a couple 100,000 sheep that they would graze here. And a part of our pack station is actually an old sheep herder's wagon.
The Kings River and its many tributaries are the lifeblood of the canyon. The water seems to flow everywhere, helping to support a host of plants and animals, many of which you might see on the ride. Just ask Dorothy about her bear story.
There's a dead deer that I think a mountain lion had killed the night before and the bears had got it. And there's two bears just going at it. This one bear had this other big male bear down by the throat. I was like, this is so cool.
Kings Canyon shares a border with the more popular Sequoia National Park, home to the giant sequoias, the world's largest trees. And though the two parks are just miles apart, Kings Canyon has a much different ecosystem.
These aren't sequoias right here?
No, so this is a cedar tree, but a lot of people mistake the sequoias and the cedar trees because the bark is real similar and they're red and the leaves on them are really similar, but the giant sequoias grow up higher.
Kings Canyon gained national attention in the late 19th century as naturalists like John Muir advocated for its protection. He tried to gain public support by holding conservation meetings on this rock alongside the Kings River, but it wasn't until the late 1940s, long after Muir's death, that President Franklin D. Roosevelt established Kings Canyon National Park.
It's special here. This place has a hold on you. Once you show up here and you spend some time, you don't want to leave.
Kings Canyon took hold of Lee Lovren's father, Tim Lovren, who purchased Cedar Grove Pack Station back in 1985.
Well, our family has always been very into the mountains and the wilderness in this Sequoia Kings Canyon National Parks. We have a lot of family that was trail crew, rangers, everything in the park.
The Lovren family built a lot of the horse packing trails used today and often serve as a remote delivery service for the park staff. Now that Lee has taken over much of the pack station operations, her focus is carrying on the tradition of introducing visitors to the remote parts of the park.
It's wild, I think, is a big part of it. You can get into the backcountry, you can go 20 or 30 miles out, not see people for 2 weeks.
Kings Canyon National Park remains a place where geology, ecology, and history all intersect in a breathtaking way, offering a haven for both solitude and exploration.
From the Cedar Grove Pack Station in Kings Canyon National Park, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
As always, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget, it's going to be hot outside, but there is a lot going on around town. So make sure you stay up to date on air, online, and of course, our free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. I'll see you later, or maybe I'll see you at the fair. Have a great night.